So, what if you could tap into a supercomputer, like right now, straight from your own laptop? Today, we're going to look at a new tool that makes that a reality. And honestly, it could completely change how you tackle those massive projects. Let's just dive right in. I mean, we've all been there, right? You're working on something big, a really complex simulation, maybe you're analyzing a huge data set, and your computer just slows to a crawl. You've hit a wall. And it's not because your idea is bad, it's just that your machine can't keep up. It's so frustrating. And this right here, this is the gap we're talking about. You might have a really nice high-end laptop with, say, 16 cores. That's pretty beefy. But in the cloud, you can instantly get access to systems with 192 cores or even more. We're not just talking about a small upgrade here. This is a completely different league of computing power. So yeah, let's talk about those limits of your own machine. Because even with a powerful setup, you are going to hit a wall. You'll run into computations that are just too big, too crunchy. They're the kind of things that would bring your entire workflow to a screeching halt. And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? Your biggest, most ambitious ideas are always going to outgrow your local hardware. I mean, sure, you can leave your machine to run overnight for a tough problem, but what happens when you need to scale that up by 1,000? You just need a totally different approach. And that is exactly where this idea of an instant supercomputer comes into play. We're looking at a service built specifically to bridge that gap, to put massive, overwhelming computational power right at your fingertips, but without all the usual headaches and complexity. What makes this so incredibly powerful is how seamless it is. It's not just about having all that cloud power available somewhere out there. It's about being able to send these huge calculations off to the cloud without ever having to leave the programming environment you're already in and comfortable with. And the simplicity here is it's beautiful. You do not need to be a cloud infrastructure wizard. You take the computation you've already written, you wrap it in one single function, remote batch submit, and boom, you send it off. That's literally it. Okay, this is where the real magic happens. If your calculation needs other functions or data from your current session, the service automatically figures that out and packages it all up. You don't have to manually track and upload all your dependencies. It just works. It's amazing.
All right, theory is one thing, but let's see how this thing actually performs in the wild. We're going to walk through a real-world example to see just how incredibly smooth this process really is. So here's our task. We want to create a really complex geometric tiling pattern, and it involves 500 pentagons. Now, this is a classic example of one of those crunchy calculations. It's not technically impossible on a laptop, but it would take forever, tying up your machine and completely killing your workflow for hours. So you submit the job, and you can immediately get back to doing other things. An email pops up saying, hey, your job has started. You can hop over to a web dashboard to check on its progress whenever you feel like it, and then, when it's all done, another email arrives with a nice preview and a link to download your finished result. It's a true set-it-and-forget-it kind of workflow. Now, offloading a single long-running task is super useful, don't get me wrong, but the real game changer is how this technology handles massive parallelism. I'm talking about tackling millions of problems all at once. Let's look at an example that would be flat-out impossible otherwise. Okay, just try to imagine this. You need to search through a gigantic space of possibilities. Not thousands, not even a million. We're talking about 100 million different cases to find a very specific, rare kind of behavior. On a laptop, that's not just slow, it's not going to happen. Now, to finish this search, even when it's distributed across hundreds of powerful processing cores in the cloud, it would still require a grand total of 8 hours of raw computation time. That's an entire workday of just pure, intense number crunching. But here's the punchline. Because that massive task was split across so many cores, all running in parallel, the user didn't have to wait 8 hours. Nope, they got their results back in just 3 minutes. From 8 hours to 3 minutes. That is an absolutely mind-blowing acceleration. And I love this quote because it just captures the poetry of it all. It's not just about getting a result faster. It's about being able to explore this vast computational universe of possibilities and literally pluck out that one specific needle-in-a-haystack answer you were looking for. And to do it in minutes instead of what could have taken months or even years. Now, all this incredible power isn't just some simple on or off switch. No, it's designed to be completely programmable, giving you really precise control over your jobs, your workflow, and even your budget. And this is definitely not a one-size-fits-all solution. You get to pick the right tool for your specific job. You could just spin up a basic machine simply to get a task off your laptop, or you could scale all the way up to a compute-heavy beast with 192 cores, or even a memory-optimized machine with over a terabyte of RAM. It's your call. See, this is all about putting you in the driver's seat. You can set hard limits on time or cost, so a job never runs away from you. You can customize notifications through email or text messages. You can even write code to check on your job's status or schedule tasks to run automatically on a recurring basis. Total control. And this is really just the beginning. The plan is to expand this even further, allowing big organizations to connect this same simple workflow to their own in-house supercomputers, and also to support synchronous, real-time computations on these massive remote machines. So the future's looking pretty exciting. So that really leaves us with this one final thought. When access to nearly unlimited computational power becomes this simple, this integrated into your workflow, the bottleneck is no longer the machine sitting on your desk. The only real constraint left is the questions you can think to ask. So what would you build? What problems would you solve? What would you discover?